Nice to meet you, Kasper.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first question is about your last album, Altid Sammen. Sorry for the Danish pronunciation.
Very nice Italian pronunciation of the Altid Sammen.
Okay, thank you. You came back after a long hiatus and a work, Leaves, The Color of Falling, that you wrote with Happy Hopeless Orchestra.
See.
Have you ever imagined that your record and the following supporting tour arrived after a global pandemic?
No. It came like a surprise, out of the blue, I would say. We were touring in January, February, and the beginning of March. We had a show on the 6th of March in Milano, which we had to cancel. So it's actually quite nice to be back in Italy. Here we stopped just when the pandemic entered, and now we play our first show in 5 months here. So it's I have no clue. Nobody, I guess, had any clue about this thing. Also, in the beginning, we were not sure what this was. Was it something to be here for 2 months or 3 months? But as it looks right now, it will be here for at least a year or two more. So no, we had no clue.
No clue. Altid Sammen means always together in Danish.
Yeah.
Is this a strong message after the events of these last 6 months?
It changes all the time, I think. When we put it out last year in September, already I feel there was similar problems or issues as we have as humans that just got emphasized in the pandemic, both the good and the bad. I feel it. To be together about separating, like one of the songs is saying, is exactly what it is about. So we stay in our apartments and we are together in splitting up and being isolated from each other. Some people and some continents are doing it one way and others doing it other ways. And a lot of this thing is like, for me, a lot of this album, Altid Sammen, is about us being just human. Not just human, but even just living things on a planet Earth. And we all just care about our own little belly buttons sometimes, even if it's in a relationship or whether it's a political system. And we can do some incredible things when we realize that we are together about doing it. So this was a celebration to us as a band and us doing music together, but also in the lyrics about the relationship together, about us as a species together, and so on.
So your last album is a kind of political manifesto or stuff like that?
We've never really made political music, but I think these times, especially in this pandemic, it becomes to me more and more important to be aware, at least when you are an artist, of what your political message is. I think it becomes more important than ever before, or at least for a while. We have never been a political band, to be honest, so it's always a little bit conflicting when we talk about politics and music. I like to make a free space for the people to come and experience the music without thinking about Donald Trump or whatever. But I also think sometimes in the recent months with Black Lives Matter and just generally poor people being infected with corona as opposed to rich, it's like everything becomes a little bit more amplified and clear. I think we need to stay a bit more solidarity together. And so if we can speak up to our fans and remind people about treating everybody with an equal mind, then I think we would miss our chance if we don't do it. So.
And connecting to your last phrase, pandemic shows also the differences and the egoism of most of the European Union countries. We are European citizens.
Yeah.
And do you think that after this the last 6 months, will the European Union will be more Altid Sammen than before?
Yeah, I hope so. But I live in Portugal now, and so I know a little bit the similar problems that Italy has in terms of north of Europe, south of Europe. And to be honest, the north of Europe has not been so nice to the south. And I think they've been sneaking things in. I see it with farming in Spain. They turned wine farms into orange farms so the French could do the wine. The Germans are very good in investing money. If you go to, I don't know how the situation is here, but if you're in Portugal, there's no long thinking. They don't think 20, 30 years ahead. They think much shorter. This is a lifestyle. While as if you are in Germany, people think about investments in a long time, and this is a problem. If you have money in that sense, you keep having money and you keep having more money. And the people that don't have money have less money and they keep having less money. So I hope that the North especially will realize that the South is not only about corruption, it's also about some values.
Or laziness, maybe.
Exactly. I think there's still a bit of a concept in the North that the South is, when you give money to the South, it goes into nowhere. And I think what would be really nice would be if we could start discussing what the South could offer to the North, because I think there's so much, which is also a mentality, and that needs space, because now we talk about pandemic and we talk about millions of euros that are being posted into to countries, but when it comes to money, it's an unfair game, I think. So maybe the Germans can take care of the money and the Italians can take care of culture or something like this. Maybe we can try and divide the things a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Okay, back to music. The summer leg of this tour will contain just a couple of shows. One here and one in Macedonia, Skopje, if I remember well. And first of all, this tour was last one planned, and secondly, tonight you will play in front of more or less 200 people. Will you play at different shows, or will you play the same one you played in the previous leg of the tour?
Yes, it's the only shows we play this summer. Yes, 2 shows, and we're gonna try and just play like we stopped, because it feels like Corona came like just in between, like 5 months ago. And so for us and this live band, we've been touring all of February. And so this time we decided we're just gonna play how we played when we had our last show on the 4th of March in Zurich. Exactly the same. So we can start from the same thing. Because we've all lived in different cities. I live in Lisbon, some are living in Antwerp, in Belgium, and some are living in Copenhagen. And yeah, so we will pick it up like this and we see what happens. It felt really nice at the sound check, so I'm not like so, it was surprisingly easy.
So during the pandemic, did you have time to write maybe your next album?
Yeah, we made nearly 100 sketches, so we have a lot of material right now, and we have just been sharing it on Dropbox. So I made some stuff in Lisbon, and Mads and Rasmus been doing some stuff in Copenhagen, and we had a Dropbox, and it was really crazy. We never made so much music before, so it's very inspiring for some reason. I think what was really good was that because we had so many plans and suddenly all the plans were gone, you had this energy of making something, and also it was a good time to experiment. I feel this Corona time is one big experiment. Honestly, it's the best just to do something you never done before. So a lot of the music we were making was fueled by this curiosity of just, you know, playing. I was playing a lot of guitar and singing at home. I never done so much of this, you know, with a tape recorder and sitting and recording some songs, and then went to the studio and I had some synthesizers and some drum beats, and just starting with that. And Mads was putting up a lot of modular synths up in Copenhagen and trying to do different. So it's a lot of like experimental, just sending each other some ideas. And then we are meeting up in Denmark next month to have a rendezvous together, like to meet up and go to a studio, and we see. I think there is music. The problem or the issue for me is more like, what do you do, like Taylor Swift, or what do you do these days? Like there's so many albums. Like everyone's been sitting and doing Corona music,
and she did something, and no one knows about that
exactly.
until the day before.
Exactly. That could be a way, you know. We could do it. We could, or we could announce it in a 1 week and then release it this week. Maybe do it 1 day before or something like this. But at the moment, I don't know. It's a new time, so we've been thinking of releasing an album maybe next year. But if it's gonna be this one or if it's gonna be something first, I don't know. At the moment, we try. We see what happens.
And for the lyrics, will you use English, Danish, some
Italian,
unknown languages?
Most of the sketches we did have been in English actually, and some of them in Danish.
Danish?
In Danish.
The correct pronunciation is Danish? On Danish.
Danish.
Ah, Danish. Okay.
Like the American says it, cake or something is a Danish. So
okay.
It's the same. But no Italian songs yet. We still have to do that.
Portuguese?
No Portuguese either.
No.
For me, it's a switch of language. It's really something to do with I decide on which one I sing in. So maybe I just have to decide to sing in Portuguese. And
okay, last question. You have a lot of material you wrote in these 6 months. Will you do sorry for the multisensual experience like you did with Pyramida in the past, or not?
You mean
movies and music, live music, orchestra, and
we at the moment we are starting next year. We're going to start a big project with a choir from our hometown where we come from, and we will try and make these more workshops with this girls choir from there. And I mean, Efterklang always has a lot of. We are doing a festival together with our radio station, the Lake Radio, and was cancelled this year. I'm gonna do it next year. But for the album, I think it's the first time we try to not be so conceptual about it. Like we just try to write songs, and then take the best songs with the songs we like the most. This is gonna be the ones. So we also trying to be a little bit more careful about constructing things, like just to play music and try to figure out what do we like, what inspires us in the way we play with each other. And so we don't know. Maybe when we talk again at some point, it's all a big circus of a lot of things, but
like
musicals or
Travis Scott, Astroworld, or stuff like that.
I hope so. I like stuff like that. So we'll see.